will y'all get out like a piece of scratch paper? It can be like a half sheet of paper or something. You can share a piece. I don't really care, but I want everybody to have a sheet of paper, all right? And then something to write with. Okay. Yay, everybody's here today too. Okay.
Never mind. Thanks, friend. I tried to get both and I didn't get neither. I struggle.
Does everybody have a sheet of paper yet? Are y'all sharing? Okay. Paper. You don't have to write your name on it. I don't care. Actually, don't write your name on it. Like, just cross it out. Erase it. I don't care. I do actually have a writing utensil for you. It may be a little dull, but better than nothing. It'll write.
I quit bringing chairs to class about 50 years.
Okay. Thomas, do you have something to write with?
Yes, I do.
You do? Okay. Does everybody have a sheet of paper? Don't worry about writing your name or anything. We're good? Okay. So first, I want you to tell me what you think asexual propagation is. Plant propagation. We know how plants produce sexually because we learned about the parts of a flower and how some complete flowers have male and female parts. So of course the pollen fertilizes the egg, and that's how sexual propagation works. So now I want you to write just like a short description of what you think asexual plant propagation is, and then once you all have that done, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do next. Short description. Take a wild guess. Write it down. Take a wild guess. And while y'all are writing, onions are probably going to be here April the 24th at lunchtime. And you know, me and Mr. Watkins will be leaving that Thursday morning really early for state convention. So that means all of you have to get all your onions out Monday, whenever they come in. So go ahead and be making plans. If you don't drive, like sign somebody up, make it available where you can get all of these onions out of our hair, okay? Ty, I know you bought a bunch. Make sure you can get them things going, okay? So, like I said, we're going to be going to state convention April the 27th through the 29th, which is Thursday through Saturday. And don't forget, if you want to go to the Area 2 awards banquet, you need to let Mr. Watkins know. And there's a form over there. $15. There we go. Okay. Does everybody have something? Write down. Something. You have something write down. Something wrote down. Y'all better put something down. Just take a wild guess. We're waiting on you. Yes, we are waiting on you. All right. Just take a wild guess. Write something down. That looks good. You're on the right track. Caleb, you got something written down? Okay. Y'all got something on your paper at least? I don't care what it is, just something. Have you two back here got something on your paper? Actually, three, because I know Ty. Yeah, guys, you are on top of things. Okay. They are about done. So, Bill, will you put up your phone for me, please? Well, actually, if any of y'all have your phone, like, within seeing distance, put it away or do something so we don't get distracted by it. We're not gonna be in here too terribly long, but y'all just have to stick through it, alright? So, those of you that have some description written on your paper, I want you to ball it up. And like a snowball, baseball, whatever you want to compare it to. And then, how many of y'all like to throw stuff? I knew some guys were gonna raise their hand. Cherokee raised her hand. Kelly plays softball, so we know she likes to throw things. So, I know this doesn't happen very often. I know teachers hate it when you get to throw things, but I'm gonna give y'all 30 seconds to throw it. Well, hold on. Y'all don't get to go yet. You're gonna keep throwing it in 30 seconds. You're gonna get up and find another one and just keep throwing them around, okay? But at the end, everybody has to pick up a paper ball, okay? Because I'm gonna call on a few of you to share your what's on your pieces of paper, okay? So wait, let me get my timer ready.
Nobody can hit today.
Let me get my timer ready. Y'all hold up. I know I just got you excited for no reason. My bad. Okay, oh God. Okay. Don't fuss at me. Okay.
You're aiming.
Okay.
Heck yeah, I'm aiming. I just don't know where yet.
Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Oh, I didn't get it.
Somebody throw it around. Get up, throw it around. Y'all have 20 seconds left. You better find it. Throw it around. Hey, there's two over here. No, there's another one right here. Throw it around. We lost one back here. We're losing things. Oh, 30 seconds. Stop. Everybody quit throwing things. Do not throw anything else. Okay? So, who doesn't have a paper ball? Everybody sit back down. Sit back down. I know I got you all riled up at first. Okay, who needs one? Okay, I have one in my hand right here, Lindsay. So now the problem is we have to find all the ones that we just threw around the room. So help me find, because everybody has to have one, because I know you all wrote one. So does everybody have one?
Nope, no.
Oh my goodness, where did they go?
I write so small.
Hey, Billy has one. There's nobody in here. It's like we're doing an Easter egg hunt or something.
You're welcome.
I looked underneath here, but I don't see anymore.
Let's say that.
I don't see anymore. I don't know. Hey,
Not have one.
who doesn't have one? Now Ty's the only one that doesn't have one.
Let her read hers.
Well, y'all, it has to be around here somewhere. Well, Ty, will you be absolutely heartbroken if we can't find it?
No. No.
If you're not absolutely heartbroken, then I guess we can move on. Someone, if one might have fell in the trash or something, who knows? Okay.
Let me read her. It's so funny.
Okay. Okay, so now let's see some results. Okay, Dale is anxious to share hers. So Dale, what does your paper say?
The female plant has been fertilized in a while, so she's being a strong, independent she plant and decides to do it herself.
Okay, that's not the track we were going on, so, okay. Let's see if somebody else has got, a better description. So, I think, okay.
We got a funny one. I mean, other one's actually.
Read Kate.
Maybe, I don't know.
Oh my goodness. That's bad. We are not reading that out loud. Okay, Brooke, why don't you share yours? Because I know you have a good one over there.
Okay, asexual propagation is when both sexes don't have to be involved in order to reproduce. Sexual repropagation is when you have to have both female and male parts in order to produce.
Wait, I missed that last part. Sorry, I zoned out. Sexual propagation. Okay, good. You went in, somebody went into detail and told us what both of those were. So their asexual propagation definition says when both sexes do not have to be involved in order to reproduce. That is correct. Who else thinks that they have something right based on the definition? Okay, Zach, why don't you share yours?
Asexual plant propagation is when a plant can reproduce without male parts.
That is very true.
A strong, independent female plant.
I know someone had something written earlier that referred to a type of plant propagation technique. Okay, Caleb, why don't you share yours with us?
Asexual propagation is done by cutting and other methods that does not involve by setting of pollen.
Okay, so Caleb says on his paper that asexual propagation is done by cuttings and other methods that do not involve both sexes of the flower. That is really right on point. Okay, so have y'all had enough with the sharing? Or does anybody just absolutely want to share theirs?
Let's share all of them.
Well, let's not share all of them because we have things to do today. We have to get done with some stuff. So thank y'all for participating. You can throw that away when next time we get up with something.
Like you're writing
Don't
about
worry about it.
propagation.
I know. Isn't that terrible? Okay, so let's move on. Everybody hush. Hey, you three back here, quiet down. Let's move on. So obviously today we are going to be talking about plant propagation. Who even knows what the word propagation means?
Reproduction. Like, there's no maybe?
Reproduction, multiplying. Yes, same deal. Okay? So, there are two types of plant reproduction or plant propagation. Like I said earlier, there is sexual and asexual. So, sexual uses seed for reproducing new plants. So, Billy. So, that means that we need both sexes to reproduce. So it's the only way to obtain new varieties and hybrid vigor, and it is often the least expensive and the quickest. And asexual propagation is vegetative, meaning that we actually use the vegetative parts of the plant to reproduce, and it can be an exact duplicate. So, for example, if we cut this portion off of this geranium looking plant, I'm not real sure what that is because it didn't say. So if this had a cool looking defect, if it had some white polka dots or something far out on the leaves, we could take a cutting of this portion of the plant and reproduce it, and we would have multiples of those that we could take more cuttings off of, okay? So we're gonna do a little bit of plant anatomy review because I know most of you know what a leaf is and what a stem is and all the obvious things, but you might not remember the little nitpicky things that we need to know. So, a node is the swollen part of the stem where buds form, or where leaves or other stems grow out of the plant. So, we're going to see a picture of this in a minute, so no worries. Okay, so then the internode is the tissue or the space between two nodes. So, if I'm a stem and I have a node that is my leg and a node that is my arm, this would be my internode. Okay? Then the apical bud is the bud that is on the tip of the stem. That is what makes the plant want to grow tall and long. And removing this bud removes the apical dominance, which is what makes it want to grow tall and long. So whenever you remove that, what do you think it does? It makes it want to grow out. That's exactly right. Billy and Wesley, y'all are both on top of things. Okay, so like I said earlier, here is our node, this portion of the stem where the leaf is coming out of. Sometimes you have separate stems shooting out of the side of your main stem. Then, then you have your internode, which is the space between the two nodes. Okay, that's going to come in really handy whenever we go out in the greenhouse for our lab, because we are going to be using these terms when we make cuttings from our plants. Okay, and then just for example's sake, this is the apical bud, which makes the plant grow long and tall. Okay? Alright, so this is what we've been getting to. Asexual propagation. The type that we are going to do is a cutting. So we are going to be taking a portion from the mother plant and growing a separate plant from that. Okay? So with cuttings, there are two common types. You can take stem cuttings and leaf cuttings, and there's also a bud cutting. But what we're going to be doing today is a stem cutting. So we're actually going to take a portion of the stem and grow a new plant from that. The picture that you've seen earlier is an example of that. If you were to do a leaf cutting, you would simply take a leaf off of a plant and cut it in half and stick it in the soil, and a plant would grow from there. So with cuttings, the benefit is that you can make numerous cuttings from one plant, which is what we're going to do also when we go outside to the greenhouse. But the most important thing is that we're going to cut diagonally right above one of the nodes. So you're not going to cut on the nodes, and you're not going to cut way up in the internode. You're going to cut right above where the node is, okay? Because we don't want to leave a lot of that stem sticking out. And then we're going to make sure our cuttings are 2 to 6 inches long. I just said about the length from your thumb to your first finger. And if you can't find one that long, then that's okay. We can make it work. So what we're going to do, once we cut our cutting, diagonally of course, right above the node, then we are going to remove the leaves off of the bottom. And why do you think this is important, that we remove the bottom leaves and that we cut larger leaves to a smaller size? Why might this be important?
So it don't move away the whole plant,
Huh?
so it don't make the plant dead.
Well, I guess that's part of it, but it requires less moisture. So if we're talking about moisture, we talked about this earlier in the semester whenever I first started teaching you guys. Do y'all remember the day I sang
No,
my ugly voice?
no,
Y'all don't remember
I
that?
might not have been here.
The day I sang to you about transpiration?
Yes.
You should all remember that, okay? I sang to you about transpiration. Okay, well, it must not have been as bad as I thought then. Some of these are going, that was miserable. Okay, so how might moisture and transpiration affect the reason why we need to remove some leaves?
Transpiration isn't where it's like the underside of the leaf. Somehow. Don't know, like lose water.
What? Stomatas, okay, yeah, the stomatas open, but the general idea of transpiration is what,
The loss of water.
Leah? A loss of water. You were going towards that earlier, and I was waiting on you to spit it out, but that's what I'm looking for, okay? So, obviously, do y'all remember when we did the transpiration lab, and I made some of you remove all the leaves off of your piece of plant, and some of you still had leaves on your plant? Well, I know our experiment kind of didn't work like it was supposed to, but obviously the plant pieces that we cut off that had the larger leaves and the larger number of leaves utilized more water than the plants that did not have as many leaves on them. So what I'm getting to with this is we're going to remove the leaves from the bottom, and we're going to cut the larger leaves at the top, which I think what we're cutting on today won't need much work, but we're going to do that so it doesn't use as much transpiration, because the plant is working hard to generate its roots from the cutting that we just made, and it needs to be moist anyway. But if we leave the larger leaves, then that transpiration is going to have a negative effect on our cuttings, and we're not going to have as much of a percent rooting rate, if that makes sense. So, back to what I'm saying. After we cut diagonally right above the node, and we remove the leaves at the bottom, then we are going to dip it in a rooting hormone. So today we're going to be using Rutone It's not required for the coleus, obviously, because coleus root very easily. But we're gonna use it anyway because it speeds up the rooting process, which is what we want. So in the next few days, we're gonna go do a little slight tug on our coleus cuttings just to see if they begin to root and how well our propagation methods work. Okay, so a little bit about root tone. So this image up here is kind of what you're gonna do. You're gonna cut your plant diagonally, and then I'm gonna give you a cup full of root tone, and you're just gonna dip the end of it in there, and then we're gonna move on. But first, root tone is a PGR, or plant growth regulator. It is an NAA, or naphthalene acid. I don't really know exactly how to pronounce that word, but I guess acetic acid. My bad, I missed that word. So it's a synthetic auxin. So pretty much, can anybody tell me what an auxin is?
It's a plant hormone produced in the stem, promotes cell elongation.
Yes, that is right. So, thanks Billy for reading off of the
You're
board.
welcome.
So auxins actually increase your rooting rate and promote your plant growth in general, but especially root tone. Obviously, root is in the word of it, so that's going to promote our root growth. Auxins are kind of a confusing concept to learn, but we're going to get into that a little more because we're going to learn about the other plant growth regulators that are available some point next week. So this root tone is going to increase our rooting rate, it's going to speed up the process, and it's going to increase the number of roots that we have, so we're going to make our coleus cuttings a little bit more successful. Are y'all paying attention? No, you're not. Okay. So, after we place our hormone dip our coleus cuttings, then we are going to place them into a flat of dampened soil. So of course you're going to make your little hole with your finger and stick your coleus cutting in there and press the soil against it so it doesn't fall over, obviously. And we're going to water it, and we're going to make sure it stays moist until we have hardy roots, because cuttings need major amounts of water or they will not survive. So there are examples out there in the greenhouse, but we're going to explain that a little bit more once we get out there, okay? So I just wanted to give y'all kind of a crash course of what we're doing today. And once we get out there, I'm going to need you guys to get into a group, and I know that you're going to want to group yourselves together as you want to, and that's fine. I'm going to let you choose your partner, but it's just going to be 2 people in a group, okay? So that means we should have 9 groups because everybody's here today. And once you get into a group, I am going to give you a cup with a little bit of root tone in it, and then once we get our cups passed out, then I'll do some demonstrations and we will get going, okay? FYI, this will be a grade, so I suggest you take it seriously, okay? So, everybody go to greenhouse number 5, and let's get started.
Krista, you can pause it.